Hi, and welcome to my weekly vibrational astrology forecast. This is for the week of Monday, January 13th through Sunday, January 19th, 2020. So we're in 2020 now. We've been for a couple weeks. It's kind of crazy that this is already a couple weeks into the year. And we've had so much going on. If you actually are watching this now, I applaud you because last week was not easy for a lot of us, especially those of us with planets around 20, 22 degrees of Cancer or Capricorn. That was right where the eclipse hit. That was right where Saturn and Pluto are still. They conjuncted yesterday exactly, but they're still there. So we're still feeling a lot of this intense energy. It has been intense. I know. I have been doing consultations all this past week, and I can't tell you, almost everybody that has come to me has had a lot of Capricorn in their, planets, and a lot of Cancer energy, and it's just been like, usually the Capricorns know what's going on in the world, and they're trying to make things happen with themselves and trying to be the boss, and they're like, what the hell is going on? I feel like I'm out of sorts. I feel like I'm ungrounded. Well, if you watched last week's video, I did talk about being grounded is important. It's important to do that. Same with this week. Keep yourself on the ground. So what I said last week still applies. Keep those grounding crystals around you. Keep doing your earthing meditations, those sorts of things. But we do have some different energies coming in this week as well. So fortunately, we're on the tail end of this eclipse. Of course, the eclipse energy does last for the next 6 months. And we're on the other side of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which, by the way, it only conjuncts one time. It doesn't actually, have a retrograde and then, another couple hits. It just does it one time and slowly starts to move away from each other. So that's good. But it's about reforming yourself. So ask yourself, in the sense that we're all reforming ourselves, what are you doing? How are you reforming your own self in your own personal world? What reforming is going on with you? Whether or not you have planets in Capricorn or Cancer or at 20 degrees of any sign, you are affected by this current energy, because this energy is talking about, that I'm talking about today, is talking about the energy that we're all intertwined in. So it's heavy for all of us, and some of us with planets at these certain degrees are having a more tough time than others, and those of us that are, kind of like easing through this are witnessing the people that are having the tough times, because that's just how it flows. And, we're still dealing with our own personal stuff too. I've seen so many clients come to me saying that they've let go of a relationship. They've let go of friendships that have been going on for years. Even a few clients have had people that have passed over recently. I mean, there's just a lot of things going on. I look in the news and I see all of the changes that are going on, all of the upheaval that's going on. That Uranus station last week, that was upheaval that was going on, and in the news, it's just, that's all you hear about, right? And it's just like, we are really truly, morphing into the next phase on a collective scale and on a personal level too. So on a personal level, I would love to hear how this is affecting you particularly. So tell me in the comments below, what is going on in your life that you're working through that's helping you kind of manifest what you want, because that's what you want to do. You really want to leave your hand open and allow life to sit here, not with it clenched, your other hand clenched over it. Let it just sit and let it float right here. Let it float right here. Let it float right here, because if you clench and hold on to whatever is there, you're going to be resisting something. If you don't resist something, you let it be, you will give it the opportunity to grow. If you do not, if you resist and you hold on, you're going to hold back growth. And that's what you don't want to do. So tell me in the comment section what kind of stuff is going on in your world, and let me know how it's affecting you. I also want to tell you, I am doing another giveaway this week. I did a giveaway every week for the last several weeks, and I am for the entire month of January, because it is my birthday month. My birthday has not yet. It's next week. But I am giving a giveaway this week for a year review, so a year ahead review. So if you would like to be part of that, I'm only giving one away this week. It's what you do is you leave a comment below and you subscribe to my channel. So just do those two things and I will pick someone that has done those two things. So you have good reason to comment to tell me what's going on in your world and because you would like to possibly win my giveaway. So with all that said, I would like to tell you also that you can find my website and schedule a consultation with me if you would like to know personally what is going on in your own chart compared to these energies that are going on in the, our solar system on Earth here now. You can find my website is rockstarastrologer.com, and my online business card is my name, starlenebreiter.com. That's where you can find my other websites and also my social media. Links are in the description box below too, so you can just easily click the link and find the website that you want to find. I also want to say that next month, one thing that I'm reforming and kind of doing, but it's been in the works, which kind of makes sense because this is a slow moving progress, is that I'm going to be giving a lecture for the Florida Atlantic NCGR in Davie, Florida at the Nova University. So that is going to be on November 22nd. If you are in Davie, Florida, or if you're like around the area and you would like to learn about vibrational astrology, please feel free to check it out. The link is in the description box. Also, the Vibrational Astrology Conference is at the end of March. You can check that out. That's in Gainesville, Florida. I'm not speaking there, but I am going to be attending. I'm so excited to listen to some of the lectures. I know the topics about them, and I'm excited to listen to because I know the researchers have done a lot of hard work getting these lectures up and running for us because they've done some really awesome research. So check those links out below. I am giving live mini readings during the conference, so during the in between the lectures. So if you would like to get one, you can also come say hi to me and we can schedule that while we're there. So I'm going to be doing that, and I love hearing from you guys. So please let me know what you think. Let me know how your life is going. And let me know what you think about my videos. Tell me if there's anything that you would like for me to talk about, not just in the sense of like these videos that I'm doing, like in the learning sense, because I am going to start putting out learning videos very soon. I put one out about looking up your birth chart, but Christmas got in the way and life got in the way for a minute. So I'm back to that. I'm back to now I'm a little bit more, my slate is a little bit more clear, and I'm going to be able to do some more videos. And if there's something special you'd like to learn about or you'd like to know about, let me know in the comment section. I'm happy to do videos, and I will take notes on things that you guys tell me. So thank you for that. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the midpoints that are going on for this week, and then I'll get into the regular astrology, and then I will also tell you about the gemstone suggestion for this week as well. So the first thing is there's a midpoint, a couple midpoints that have happened last week, and they are winding up this week, and they're the first three midpoints I'm going to talk about. The first one is Pluto at the midpoint of Sun Saturn. This happened on the 11th, and it goes to the 14th. So it started on Saturday and it goes to Tuesday. The peak of it is on Monday. This is a really deep ascetic feeling, a deep desire to have some solitude. I worked over the weekend, and this is Monday morning that I'm recording this. I worked over the weekend, and I can tell you that either it was radio silence with people, or people just saying they were depressed or having really difficult, struggles of things that are coming up from the surface. And so if you're still feeling this way, know that it's okay to let things out. It's okay to express. It's okay to emote. What's not okay is living in that deep, darkness. It's not okay to do that. So try to remember that it's okay to express and let go of things that are not serving you. But it's not okay to just live there forever, because you don't want to do that to yourself. So this is a passing phase too. So it should lighten up as the week goes on. The next one is Saturn at the midpoint of Sun Pluto. So you're seeing a pattern here. Pluto Sun Saturn, Saturn Sun Pluto. This started on the 11th and ends on the 15th. So it went from last Saturday to this Wednesday. The peak is on Monday the 13th. This is like a really strong overcoming of obstacles. Obstacles and challenges that you may be facing. There could be a separation during this time. There could be some kind of restriction too. That Saturn energy being at the peak of this midpoint, the center point of this midpoint, it's really kind of saying there could be some kind of separation, some kind of letting go, some kind of cutting away things that are not important. And that's okay. That's okay. We are letting go of things that are not important right now. We're letting go of them because we're going to transform and embrace the things that are important to us in the next chapter of our lives. So the next one is the Sun at Saturn Pluto. So these are all Pluto Saturn Sun, Saturn Sun Pluto, Sun Saturn Pluto. So this is all these three planets doing this little dance with each other over last weekend and into the beginning of this week. And this started on Sunday and it goes to Monday. The peak of it is on Monday, and this is overexertion. This is physical, like a physical toll on the body, a hardship of some sort. You know, if you're feeling drained, if you're feeling stressed out on Monday, give yourself a break. Don't push yourself too hard. Know that you're going through this transformation right now. So, you know, don't be too tough on yourself, whether it be physical or emotional or a little bit of both. Give yourself a little downtime if you need it, because that's an important part of this aspect. So moving on, the new midpoints that are going on this week, we have the Sun at Mercury Pluto. There's still a lot of Mercury Pluto stuff going on as well, because there was a lot of Mercury last week too. So the Sun at Mercury Pluto starts on the 13th, which was Sunday, and it goes to the 25th. So it actually goes till the next week. So the peak of it is, though, this week on Saturday, the 18th. So this is really having us be able to have some kind of persuasive speaking. So Pluto is very persuasive. It's charismatic. It is compelling. It is drawing us. And the Sun and Mercury is like saying, hey, we have this light and this desire to actually have some kind of persuasive speaking to other people, to sharing ideas, to, you know, having some compelling communication with others. So you may notice yourself get into deep conversations with other people. You may want to talk about yourself in a deep way. Talk about what you've been transforming. You know, when we talk about the things that we are transforming in a healthy way, as opposed to just like venting and, you know, not allowing ourselves to, you know, process and just like living in the emotions, as a part to like analyzing them, which is how we will be feeling with this particular midpoint with the Sun, Mercury, Pluto. We might feel a little compulsive to talking about them, but we're getting them out. And I think there's a healthy aspect to that, you know, so that might be the theme of this week, since it is going on this week and next week. And the peak of it is this Saturday. So this energy will be leading up to getting deeper on Saturday. And then following through the next week. So the next one is the Sun at the midpoint of Saturn Pluto. This one is only one day midpoint, and it is only for Monday the 13th. This is overexertion. This is feeling too like you're working too hard, or deprivation. Actually, it's interesting because here I am talking about the same midpoint. I made a mistake and I wrote it twice. So sorry about that. But anyway, it is a desire and overexertion, working too hard, you know. So make sure you don't work too hard. Maybe the reason I put that there is because we needed to bring that back up, right? So okay, moving on, because I already talked about Sun at Saturn Pluto, is Mercury at Mars Neptune. This is on Tuesday and Wednesday. The peak of it is on Tuesday, so the 14th and the 15th. This gives us a bit of nervousness. Our energy is kind of tight and tense, but at the same time, we're feeling absent-mindedness because Neptune is making us think about our ideals, our dreams, our desires, our wants, our needs, our feelings, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a sensitivity here. This could also play out in a way of like having a weak nervous system, or if you're switching medications or something like that with the doctor, you might want to just double check yourself, because during this time, Tuesday and Wednesday, it's almost like there's an absent-mindedness going on that, you know, it could translate into some kind of misuse of medication or drugs of some sort, just because it's like the mind is being like challenged by this Mars energy, which is pretty deep, and then this Neptune energy, which is pretty like spacey, right? So make sure that you're kind of grounded, especially revolving around, you know, anything you intake in your body during this time. So the next one is Neptune at the midpoint of Mercury Uranus. And this midpoint is Wednesday and Thursday with the peak on Wednesday. This is inspiration. So inspiration is coming into the picture. I love this because here we had last week the cutting away of everything, that deep, deep, deep eclipse that was intense because it was almost at the same degree as the Saturn Pluto conjunction. So it was super intense. We had the Mercury mixed in there as well with all those Mercury midpoints. And, you know, here we're having inspiration. We're having inspirational thoughts. We have psychic thoughts that may come through, because Neptune here is in the beginning, or in the middle of Mercury, which is our mind, and Uranus being in the present moment. So we really may have some extrasensory perception during this time. It can also be unnerving to some of us that are not used to this, you know. But what I would tell you is, you let go of things. Hopefully you've been doing your work. If you've been listening to these videos, you've been doing your work and you've been letting go of things so that you can transform yourself. If you're needing to kind of figure out, what do I transform myself into? What am I doing? You know, because some people that I've been working with have been saying that to me. This is the time, Wednesday and Thursday, when this aspect or this midpoint is in play. You'll get some inspiration. Know that it's coming. So know that it's going to get better. You're going to get some inspiration. You know, you might not be completely ready to act it out, but something will come to you. So my guidance to you would be to write things down, because Mercury's there. You may have the desire to even write things down. The next midpoint is Pluto at the midpoint of Venus-Mars. And Pluto at the midpoint of Venus-Mars, this is Friday and Saturday, and the peak is on Saturday. This is a very powerful feeling of attraction. It's a very magnetic energy. It can be a very powerful sex drive as well. It's intense. Venus and Mars are the planets that you would look at if you're looking at relationships. And if your relationship is difficult, it can be some intensity going on there. If your relationship is good, it can be some great intensity going on there. It depends on what's going on with you in your life on how this could play out. Try to know that this energy is here, and try to channel it into something that you really want to achieve that is important. If you're looking for love, maybe this is a good time to go out and do it, to make yourself dolled up or handsomed up, whatever, if you're male or female or whatever, you know, you are. Get yourself out and there and socialize. Because you feel this intense magnetism to other people, and other people feel magnetism to you. This is going on over the weekend, so maybe it's a good time to go out with your friends or do something fun. Maybe you'll meet somebody new. So Pluto, the next one is Pluto at Mercury Jupiter, and this is Saturday through next Monday, and the peak of it is on Sunday. This is having influence over the masses. Like, there's an influence that we all have over the masses. There is suggestive speaking in this. Pluto makes us intense in that sense, and Mercury is our communication, and then Jupiter just magnifies it. So, you know, we might have the potential to communicate something we want to communicate to a group of people. If you do, this is a great time to let out a video if you're doing a video, or to communicate something to your family or your friends or whoever you need to communicate something to. This is a really interesting energy. Just make sure you know that other people are also feeling this too. So they may be suggestive to you. So if what they're saying doesn't vibe with you, and pay attention to your own intuition. If it doesn't vibe with you, then don't take it on as your own. Do you know what I mean? Because it's important for you to know that not only you are magnetic, other people are as well. So that's that energy there. The next one is Saturn at the midpoint of Venus Mars. So first we have Pluto at the midpoint of Venus Mars, and then a few days later we have Saturn at the midpoint of Venus Mars. This is Saturday and Sunday. The peak of this is on Saturday. And this is a need and a desire for like realistic or true love, true things that we're truly attracted to, the beauty and the art that we're truly attracted to. You may notice that you are like moving away, just like on your own from something that is superficial, whether it be a superficial piece of art that didn't really mean something to you, or a relationship that is just superficial and not meaningful, or just something that isn't, really speaking to your heart. So this is what this is doing. The Saturn is giving us a chance to say, hey, I want something meaningful in my life. If it's not meaningful, then it's time to let it go. And I think this is a great energy for that reforming energy that I was talking about for the Saturn Pluto conjunction that had happened on Sunday, that is still in play. But these planets, Pluto, then Saturn, moving through the midpoint of Venus and Mars, is giving us a chance to say, okay, so what things do we need to let go of in the realm of love or art or beauty, or things that we're really attracted to? And then how can we draw that which we do want into our experience? So try to think about it from that perspective. The next midpoint is Venus at the midpoint of Jupiter and Uranus. And this is a Saturday and Sunday aspect, so it will peak on Sunday. So next weekend is pretty busy too. This one is artistic expression. So you might want to make a painting, or you might want to do whatever kind of art that you do. It's a really happy feeling, in the present moment, it's happy. Jupiter is happy. If Jupiter is like joyful, a joyful energy, Venus is, very kind, loving, sweet energy, and Uranus is like, be in the present moment with this loving, sweet, kind energy. And I think that's what it's going to bring to the table. And the only thing is, I would tell you, is if love pops up, new love pops up, there may be like you fall in love with someone quickly, but it doesn't last. Or there could be an inconsistency in your love life, so you might be feeling like, oh, I really want to focus myself on doing something creative when normally you would be spending it with your other half, and don't get upset if that happens. Know that your partner may be wanting to do something different, and if that's the case, that's okay too. Don't dismiss that partner just because of that. Just know that that's a present moment, and I would support it actually, and try to do things of your that are artistic or creative with yourself. So that's an important key thing, is to find that balance in relationships, especially if you're in a relationship going through some kind of aspect like this, or midpoints like this. The next midpoint is the midpoint of the Sun at Mars Neptune, and this is Saturday through the following Monday. The peak of it is on Sunday. Sorry, it's Sun at Mars Neptune. I think I said Saturn at Mars Neptune, but it is Sun at Mars Neptune. And like I said, it's Saturday through the following Monday. The peak of it is on Sunday. This is a feeling of discontent. So you might find yourself feeling less vitality during this time. The feeling can be like a lack of willpower. Mars and Neptune don't really love each other so much, because Mars is like, go get it, do this, do that, go for it, make it happen, push forward. And Neptune is more like in dreamy land, kind of in this idealistic state, whatever that looks like for you. And the Sun is like giving energy to this, but it's saying this is amplified, this is amplifying this contrast between really going and getting things done, and kind of thinking about our ideals and our dreams and our desires and our sweetness, So if those two don't match, then there could be a feeling of discontent. If you're feeling discontent, know that this is just a time, and try to know that you will wade through this as well. So these next three midpoints that I'm going to talk about are midpoints that are beginning this week, and they will end next week. The first one that I'm going to talk about is sorry, I lost my spot. Sun at Mercury, Saturn. So Sun at Mercury, Saturn it starts on the 13th and it goes to the 30th of the month of January. The peak is on the 21st. So next Tuesday, not this Tuesday coming up, but next Tuesday, the 21st. And the Sun at Mercury Saturn is a strong desire for solitude and a need for rational thinking. If people around you are irrationally thinking, that might become bothersome to you. You may want to say, hey, hold on a second, let's think about this rationally, because that's an important feeling that's going on right now. And you also may want to find your solitude. You may want to spend some intentional time in solitude. And this is a couple week long aspect. So, this is, building. And I've noticed that even this past weekend, that this aspect really hadn't come into play. This midpoint really hadn't come into play. But I did notice that many people were saying they were, kind of taking solitude for themselves. And I think that feeling is going to get stronger as the 21st approaches, when this aspect peaks, which is next Tuesday. So if you're feeling more and more during this week coming up that you need some solitude, you need to do some rational thinking about your life in general, I think that this would be a great time to do that. Writing things down again is a great idea. It's a really good idea to do that. The next midpoint is Neptune at the Sun-Uranus midpoint. This is starting Sunday and then goes to next Wednesday. The peak of it is next Tuesday. This can have us feeling a little bit delusional. We may be feeling like our feet are not firmly planted on the ground. So if you're feeling like that, it's okay. Allow yourself this time of thinking about things, trying to be rational in some sense with that Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and then the Neptune, Sun, Uranus. You're feeling like, I'm not quite sure if I'm even on this earth. Get yourself grounded. Just keep yourself grounded and allow yourself to think about what would my dreamy, beautiful life look like? Sometimes we forget that we have to actually dream up what we want to do. It's interesting because I've worked with people and they've said, I don't really know in regards to vocation, I don't really know what I want to do, and if you don't know what you want to do, then you can't work towards that goal. So try to get in your head, especially if you're in a space like that where you don't know where you want to go or what you want to do with yourself. Try to get into your head and say, okay, what would this look like for me? These aspects, these two particular midpoints are kind of giving you the opportunity to do that. That Sun, Mercury, Saturn is saying, okay, take some solitude time out, rationally think. That Neptune, Sun, Uranus is saying, okay, give yourself a chance to be dreamy during this solitude. It would be great for you to do that. It'd be great for you to idealize and figure out, what do you want, And maybe you do know what you want, in which case you may just be working through this in a sense of, feeling like you needing to be grounded, more grounded and centered with yourself. And the last midpoint that I'm going to talk about this week is Saturn at the midpoint of Mercury, Jupiter. This starts on the 19th and goes to the 20th, so it's Sunday and Monday aspect. The peak is on Monday, and this is us getting serious about our philosophy and meaningful, finding some meaning and some kind of depth that is going on in our learning and our philosophy and our ideas and our religion if we're religious. But there's a desire to find something that is lasting, something that isn't just, fleeting. So it may be you want to pick up a book about philosophy or a book about self-help or something like that during this time. This Jupiter kind of says, hey, it's a chance for us to think bigger than what we are. And Saturn is like, I don't want the foo-foo stuff. I want the stuff that's going to help me. So try to figure that out. If you haven't sorted out, yourself on a level where you're ascending and feeling better about yourself and working with yourself on a regular basis, then maybe this weekend is an opportunity for you to do that. I love how last weekend was like, okay, we're cutting away, we're letting go, we're reforming, we're letting go of all this stuff. And then this weekend coming up, we're getting the opportunity to say, let's do it. Let's make some moves. Let's start to dream about what we want, making that happen for ourselves. So it's a pretty interesting week that we have ahead of ourselves. So I'm going to move on to the two planet aspects and the ingresses that are going on this week. The leftover aspect that's still in play right now is Saturn is conjunct Pluto still in Capricorn. It had started to affect us on the 1st of January, and it goes till about January 23rd, which is next week. And, you know, this is really externalization of psychological realities that we have. You know, I've said it before, but it's, you know, really letting those deep, dark things out, really processing them, allowing yourselves to process them, because if you're not doing that, it's really rough. It's really can be a hard aspect to go through, or a hard, hard aspect to go through. So allow yourself the chance to do that. We're still being affected by the Saturn conjunct Pluto. You know, it wasn't just a one-day thing. So moving on to Monday, January 13th, we have the Sun conjunct Saturn in Capricorn. This peaks at 10:15 a.m., is only lasting on Monday, and this has us thinking very seriously about life and our direction in life. So the Sun is saying, hey, okay, Saturn, so you stripped us down last weekend with Pluto. Now what do we want to do with ourselves? How can we make this happen? How can we imply it to ourselves? And if you notice, like as I talk about these two planet patterns, they are reflective of the three planet patterns, the midpoints that I just talked about. And I think that the midpoints give a little bit more depth to the idea of what's going on than just looking at the two planet aspects, if you can understand and kind of relate that. So Sun conjunct Saturn, it's the same thing, you know, just that moving, that thinking seriously, where we're going to go in our lives, how we're going to direct ourselves. Then we have Venus making its ingress into Pisces. Venus will be in Pisces from January 13th to February 8th. And it does go into Pisces at 1:39 p.m. Eastern time. So Venus moves from analytical, air sign, thinking, Aquarius, into feeling, Pisces, feeling, watery, you know, feeling emotions, Pisces. It's actually happy in Pisces. Venus is actually happy in Pisces. It feels good. So our love and our attraction to beauty will go from up here and being very cerebral to going in here and being very from the heart. So you may notice that your love is feeling more sweet. You know, the things you feel love for, you feel sweeter for, you know. So instead of you think you love, you may feel you love. So this is kind of like the theme of the Venus and Pisces energy. So that's moving along to Tuesday, January 14th. There are no aspects to talk about. Wednesday, January 15th, Venus in Pisces comes to a sextile with Uranus and Taurus. This happens at 6:18 p.m. You can feel this on Wednesday and Thursday. So this is about peaceful thoughts, an end to feeling very stressed out. Venus and Pisces is sweet. Uranus and Taurus is kind of like rocking the boat a little bit, but they're making a nice sextile with each other. And that sextile is saying we're having an end to some kind of stress in our lives. We're feeling this nice vibe that's going on. Let's be in the present moment with whatever we have on our plate here. So Wednesday should be an easier day for us in this particular sense. So Thursday, the 16th, we have Mercury's ingress into Aquarius. Mercury was in Capricorn. Capricorn's the earth sign, the boss of the zodiac, the one that wants to make things work, the one that wants to get things done, moving from that into the very cerebral Aquarius energy. And, you know, Mercury is not unhappy in Aquarius. It actually is pretty happy in Aquarius. It feels like it's ready to have our minds be active and thinking and creating and doing things. And Mercury will be in Aquarius from January 16th to February 3rd. And the peak date of this is 1:30. Peak time of this is 1:31 p.m. Sorry, the ingress time of this is 1:31 p.m. on the 16th. So you'll be feeling like you want to communicate some of the things that you've been thinking about during this time. You know, Mercury is our communication, it's our thoughts, it's our words, and our words will be more oriented towards not necessarily what we're what we're accomplishing, as opposed to what we are wanting to figure out, what we're wanting to understand, what we're wanting to express. So this is kind of an easier time for Mercury as it travels through Aquarius. So on Friday the 17th, there are no exact aspects. On Saturday the 18th, Mercury in Aquarius squares Uranus in Taurus. This happens at 3:31 a.m. So you can feel it Friday and Saturday. And this is a feeling that can feel a little bit sarcastic, but it's not in a negative way. You might be actually feeling unbothered by it, and it might be like a feeling of like wanting to communicate things in the present moment. That's why the sarcasm is in there. And it's something that, your mental thoughts are not necessarily going to be, negative or difficult or challenged or anything like that. It's going to feel like you want to express things. You're not afraid to express things, and you're going to express them right then. So this is the Mercury square Uranus energy. This does peak in the middle of the morning at 3:32 a.m. Eastern time. So, this may be coming to happen a little bit on Friday and a little bit on Saturday as well. So the last day is Sunday, January 19th, and there are no exact aspects on Sunday, January 19th to talk about. So I want to go ahead and start talking about the gemstone suggestions for this week. The first one I want to talk about is called optical calcite. Now I have two pieces. They're not very good specimens, but this is one piece of it. It's oftentimes shaped like this, the optical calcite. This is actually a pink one, but it's very light pink. Oftentimes this one's been pretty beat up, so oftentimes the lines in it can be very straight. Optical calcite is awesome. It's also called Icelandic spar. Here's another piece of it. Okay, and what it does is it assists in releasing some self-limiting beliefs. So if you have some beliefs that you need to let go of, this will help you to let go of them. So this will help you to keep you moving forward, to keep you from staying stuck in the self-limiting beliefs that you have. So this is helpful in encouraging spiritual development as well, because as you let go of beliefs that do not suit you or do not, belong to you for the next phase of your life, then you're letting go. You're kind of developing on a spiritual sense. Now, this is a pink one, like I said, but you don't need to have pink. You can just get white like this one. But some of them are very clear. This is actually little fun fact. This is actually what they used to make glasses out of before they could actually make lenses. So because there's a double refraction in this, and when you look through this particular stone. So, okay, so there is that. The next one is called cacoxenite. So cacoxenite is right here. This one, as you can see, it's got lots of like things inside quartz, like fibers inside quartz. So cacoxenite, it serves to reduce negative emotions, especially ones that are put on the body. So, a lot of us have gone through some body stuff lately because of all this Saturn Pluto stuff that have happened. And it helps to reprogram ourselves in a very, high vibration way. So cacoxenite is really good for doing that. It helps to release those negative emotions and helps to heal the body. So I would tell you, if you've been having some body issues, anything like the health issues, to get some cacoxenite and to hold on to it. Oftentimes this one's in quartz. You can get it in amethyst, which is also really good too. So that does wind up my vibrational astrology forecast, along with my gemstones suggestions for the week. I do invite you guys to join me next week. I will talk about the sun moving into Aquarius, into my sign. And I will talk about the new moon in Aquarius, which happens next week, and the sun square Uranus and other powerful things that are going on. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing with this Saturn Pluto conjunction, and let me know how things are going. And of course, subscribe to my channel. All right, have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.